The format is so stale. It is so boring. And we've been seeing it week after week, month after month, year after year. We don't even have pyro at the beginning of the show to show everyone this is going to be an exciting 3 hours. You talk about the Attitude Era being totally dead. Well, some aspects should not be. When they started those shows, and you had that Raw is War theme booming, man, and the camera's going, zooming in and out in the audience, everybody had a sign, because that was the place to be. Fireworks are blasting off. It looks like a war zone. The music stopped, boom, the fucking glass shatters, here comes Stone Cold, the crowd is erupting even more than the opening segue. That was pro wrestling, man! We were getting electrified before The Rock even came out to confront Stone Cold. And then later in the night, half an hour later, badass Triple H is coming down to the ring, music blaring, looking fucking swolled up. 20 minutes later, The Undertaker's coming down to the ring. Kurt Angle, in his prime, he's coming down to maybe take on Undertaker. New Age Outlaws, man. And Cactus Jack. Mick Foley, Mankind. Chainsaw Charlie. With Terry Funk and their wars with the New Age Outlaws. The 24/7 hardcore title. That's what I mean about the show format. Maybe after a match, you go backstage and little fucking Crash Holly has the hardcore title, and he's looking all around. He's hoping nobody jumps him. Mark Henry out of nowhere maybe jumps Crash Holly backstage. The 24/7 hardcore title could be defended anywhere at any time. In the parking lot, maybe Al Snow is pinning fucking Barry Horowitz for it. Who knows? That was the fun you used to have. Every fucking segment was something different and new and awesome. Today, one boring, lackluster, redundant segment after the other. By the time Raw ends, you're in no more exciting mood than you were when the show started. In fact, you're left there thinking, what the fuck happened with the last 3 hours of my life? And that's the truth. In the day, there was a group of friends, not my boys, but a separate group of friends. They had a little backyard wrestling organization. Middle of the woods, they had a great setup, man. It was really kick-ass. We got word one day that they were instituting a 24/7 hardcore title. Now, mind you, these are just kids. So their hardcore 24/7 title was this old school Intercontinental title. This very title is what they were all fighting for. So my group of friends, we all got wind that they were doing this, so we decided one day we were gonna show up to their organization, straight NWO style. We showed up, and we beat them all. And this was the title that the Amplified Man won on that day. And I took that back to our neck of the woods, to our neighborhood. And now me and my group of friends, we were constantly looking over our shoulder to see who was about to get us and try to pin us for our championship. I'd be at the basketball court, I'd be shooting my free throws, practicing just myself, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, practicing my free throws. And here comes my boy Tyler darting through the woods from his apartment, out of nowhere. Kick right to the midsection, power bomb on the side of the court. If I was lucky, I would hit the grass. 1, 2, 3, the Amplified Man's pinned. And as I'm all groggy, I'm looking over and I'm seeing Tyler dart through the woods with the championship and back to his apartment. But I knew that at 10:30 every night, his Ma Dukes was going to bed. And I knew his basement window was always open. So at 10:30, the Amplified Man would slip in. I'd deliver some blows, a leg drop. 1, 2, 3, Tyler. Check you later! That title's coming with the Amplified Man. But I had to watch my back, because I knew my boy, Fat Boy Fritz, was coming from Cumberland Farms with his Twinkies and his Mountain Dew. And if he saw me, he was going to try to give me a lariat to take my head off. It was fun. And it all stemmed from what we witnessed on our television sets with the WWE's hardcore at the time 24/7 rule. Didn't matter if it was hardcore or not. The fact that it was 24/7 and anything could happen, man, that was fun back in the day. And it was so fun that kids, and it wasn't just my group of friends, clearly, other groups, we were all doing it. Because it was so much fun, man. Now you fast track to where we are today. Now if you follow this channel religiously, from day one, and you actually watch the videos from start to finish, beginning to end, top to bottom, you know that I have been pulling, preaching, basically begging for WWE to bring back this 24/7 rule. And last night, Mick Foley made the announcement. WWE is deciding to roll out the 24/7 rule again, and I could not be any more ecstatic. And there's people in the community that are crying like this is the worst thing in the world that ever could have happened to WWE. It makes it look like a joke, they're saying. Let me be honest. The titles that they have now that are prestigious, all right, in all honesty, think about the Universal title. Think about the WWE, think about the Intercontinental, think about the US title, think about the women's tag straps, think about the SmackDown and Raw men's straps for the tag titles. You think about all of them. Are they really that prestigious? Or are those champions losing nonsensical non-title matches left and right even with the titles? This is a title, don't get it twisted, that is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be taken seriously, just like the Attitude Era's Hardcore 24/7 title. Do you guys not do your research? Those that are complaining and crying about this. That was one of the best parts of the shows back in the day because it took away from the actual prestigious, real, great stories and feuds going on in the ring and in the arena. With Stone Cold, with The Rock, with The Undertaker, with Kurt Angle. Of course we knew that was the real shit. That's the shit that's getting the money for the pay-per-views. It's those fights, those feuds, those stories, no question. But it's cool to break away from that, go backstage where there's anarchy, chaos, and all the superstars are looking over their shoulders to make sure they're not about to get jumped and get their title taken away. It broke up the shows. And it wasn't just filler, it was fun. You either don't remember that or you fail to realize or take that under consideration because that was some of the fun moments we used to have back in that Attitude Era. That was fun what I saw last night, and it's only going to get more better if you give it the chance. But if you're saying that's the big hill that you're willing to die on, that's the hill that you're willing to put your big fight on, that this is what makes the company look like a joke. No, the titles they have now are displayed as jokes. They're not prestigious as it is. Don't blame the one title that is meant to be a fun look into the locker room for all of us. That's what this is. This is supposed to be a fun look into the locker room bragging rights situation for the boys type of title. This is bragging rights within the locker room. And that's why all the boys are trying to fight over it. They know, implemented in their dome piece, that this is not prestigious, but it's bragging rights. If it gets a few individuals out of catering every now and again, kick ass. If it brings back a legend every now and again, kick ass. Let us not forget, guys, there was a time where women were holding the Hardcore 24/7 championship. That's how fun it was. This is a great way to integrate intergender wrestling again. You guys remember when Christian pinned Molly Holly outside the taxi cab one day? That's right, Christian pinned Molly Holly. Hopefully I didn't say Trish Stratus is who Christian pinned. Although Trish Stratus was also a champion for the 24/7 title. That's right, do your research. Trish Stratus, Molly Holly. One of the Godfather's hoes at one point was the 24/7 champion. You know, it's these type of... Remember Terry Runnels, Goldust's ex-valet and wife in real life. Terry Runnels once held it. You guys gotta relax. It's not meant to be prestigious. It's meant to be a fun, bragging rights type of situational title. Relax. It's mostly going to be an extra big moment for live events. Don't get it twisted. This is Vince McMahon's way to make a little something special at live events. Maybe the title changes hands 2 or 3 times at a live event. And everyone's like, oh shit, from behind. He's going to take the title. You know, if it helps out, if it brings a little bit more fun to the show, I'm all for it. If it brings a little bit of fun to a boring, overly redundant show like Monday Night Raw every week, if it brings a little bit of fun, I'm all down. If it brings back a little bit of a pulse to a lifeless show every week, I'm all in. And it's not always going to be a multi-star clusterfuck like you saw last night. It'll hopefully lead to cool, fun segments like back in the day when the Headbangers were chasing around Crash Holly at an amusement park. You guys remember that? And like I said, Christian pinning Molly Holly outside of a cab. Al Snow in supermarkets. I mean, come on, man. This is the type of stuff that will break away from what should be epic shit inside the ring, what should be an epic show in the arena. You take it to the back, and there's epicness going on there, too. There's fun shit going on. If you guys think this is the type of shit that's bringing down WWE, then you don't know WWE. You never did. Because this type of stuff has always been around. WWE has never been about your 5'9" guy going to get your 5'10" guy and watching him do flips and dives. And then when that's done, we'll see another 5'7" dude take on a 5'9" dude and do the same type of shit. The WWE was always more than that. Trust me, I'll be tuning into AEW. I hope they succeed. I wish them nothing but the best, and I hope it's awesome. But I know that the WWE was never based on what Cody Rhodes and them are going to try to do. If that's your shit, then maybe it's time to stop watching the WWE. If you're just a pro wrestling fan and that's your passion, maybe AEW is your shit, or ROH right now, or New Japan Pro Wrestling. As somebody who hates when people go, if you don't like it, don't watch. Trust me, that's one of my pet peeves. But if it's just pro wrestling that you love, then WWE, maybe it is time. Because now even when they're doing something cool or something fun, people are still trashing it. So it leads me to believe that maybe you're just a miserable fuck. Maybe nothing they do is gonna ever satisfy you. Maybe if it takes 917 bulbs to illuminate the ring, and they take away 2 bulbs, so now there's only 915 bulbs, maybe there's gonna be a whole fucking talk about that. How dare you take away 2 bulbs? People will always find a way to be negative about something if they're just miserable. I have no time in my day for anyone like that. When WWE does do fun shit or makes a correct decision, I tell them such. I don't find ways to make it another negative or horrible situation. I'm not gonna lie to my audience just to pull in some fucking views or make people read my blog or try to get an interview with a magazine. Yeah, this is my take, man. This is tragic for the wrestling business. No. I'm gonna call them out on their bullshit. I'm gonna critique. I'm gonna be negative when I need to be. But when they do right shit, when they do fun shit, I'm gonna speak about it. If you think that's the shit bringing down the WWE today, or what you saw last night, then you don't know the WWE, or it's just not for you. That's the fucking truth. This is not supposed to be taken seriously. And this is where you get a clown going, BC, it's a title. What do you mean it's not supposed to be taken seriously? That's what's wrong with pro wrestling fans, BC. You said a title's not supposed to be taken seriously. Motherfucker. The Attitude Era was fucking beautiful with that type of fun bragging rights not to be taken seriously title. So idiot, you just contradicted yourself. It worked back in the day because there was flawless shit going on in the arena with the main eventers. What's lacking in WWE isn't the fact that they have a 24/7 title and there's some fun on the program finally. What's lacking in WWE is they don't give any superstar the time of day. They fail to make superstars. Everybody is 50-50 booked, there's no storylines we care about, and the feuds are lackluster and redundant. Oh, I spit truth all day, every day, 24/7. Trust me. Nobody does it better in the game because nobody can keep up with the Amplified Man. I have all angles covered. Once WWE pays the time and attention and fixes those major issues, then come back and talk to me about the 24/7 title. Which again, was some of the only entertaining shit I saw last night. But it always was. It always is. And in case you're wondering, back in the day with my group of friends who walked out with the title. Guys, again, you're seeing it. This is the actual title that we were all fighting for. This Intercontinental Championship, which acted as our hardcore title. Again, it's all we had. I hope I didn't call it the European title back at the beginning of this video, by the way. This was the old school IC strap. I never liked this design. I always liked the one that they have now because that was the real old school one for me. This was like the newer old school IC strap. I never liked it. I always got this one confused with the European title because I didn't really care for the look of that title either. But anyway, this was the one that we were fighting for because we didn't have a lot of fucking dough. But I ended up going to New York with the title. So there's not a day that goes by, however, when I go back to New England, I don't bring this title back. I don't see my boys. And I'm not like, hey, who's feeling froggy? Leap. But that's my thoughts on this whole 24/7 title. But again, if you watch this channel religiously, you know how I feel. I've been trying to get this belt back for I don't know how long. Last night, man, they did it fun too, man. Again, don't worry, it's not always going to be the clusterfuck. Hopefully, if they do this correctly, it's not always going to be 30 people chasing after one guy. But I'm okay with that as the inaugural introduction for the belt. Mick Foley comes out, he announces the 24/7 title. Titus O'Neil and a plethora of superstars come down to the ring. They start brawling. Titus becomes the first ever new 24/7 champion. Bobby Roode catches him up at the rampway, though. Rolls him up. He gets the title. We go to commercial. We come back. Bobby Roode's looking all over the place, knowing that at any moment somebody could come out and try to take that title from him. So he starts to run away. Everybody's chasing after him. They pass Corbin and Lashley. Corbin and Lashley are looking like, wow, like they're taking this thing seriously. It's only a matter of time before Corbin and Lashley are trying to get this for bragging rights. So I love the way the look on their face. Of course, they couldn't chase after either because they had a tag match coming up later in the night. So they couldn't chase after, but I bet you they would have storyline-wise. We cut to another commercial. We come back, or they go to another segment and then a commercial. That's what I mean. This is a fun thing that you can keep going back to that keeps us kind of intrigued. So they come back, and Rude is telling R-Truth in the parking lot. Truth is about to leave the arena. Truth, help me, they're after me. And Truth is like, I got you, dog. He opens the trunk. He puts Rude in the trunk. He tells everyone else he went that way. He lets Rude off the trunk. Rude is thanking R-Truth. Thanks, man. Yo, I got you, dog. He puts him over into the passenger seat, but a referee pops out. Truth takes Bobby Roode for the pin and takes his title. R-Truth drives away with the 24/7 title. And for this week, Truth is going to be the sole survivor. We don't know what happens during the week. Maybe on WWE.com. He'll be in line for coffee at Starbucks. Somebody will take him out. Who knows, man? That's the fun with this. This is legit 24/7, and anywhere they are, somebody could take that strap, man. It's fun for me. I could just imagine if you're like a fucking 10, 12, 14-year-old kid, man. And it's like, you know, where there's still that kid in you because you're a fucking kid still, man. I'm hoping that they get a title and they have some fun with this, you know, because it's okay to have fun. It's okay to be a wrestling fan and love it. And when WWE can pull out something that is fun, which isn't all the time in the past several years, you gotta run with that shit. So I'm hoping that especially kids really enjoy this, man, because this is fun. And everyone gets to just let their guard down for a minute, have some fun with this, not to be taken serious. It's for bragging rights within the locker room. It's a fun title. That's all I'm going to say, man. I don't have to defend this. I loved it back in the day. I loved what I saw last night. I'm going to love this going forward. I hope they keep on going with it. I got home late last night, guys. I got a lot to do today. I'm not going to go over everything from last night's Raw, but I'll go over some of the key points, and I'll try to do this real fast. You had Brock Lesnar start the show last night, dancing boombox style to his entrance theme. That's something I never thought I'd see, and I don't know if I ever want to see again. This was a promo with Rollins and Kofi Kingston, and Rollins and Kingston are basically saying, if you're gonna cash in, just do it man-to-man, face-to-face. Let's do it tonight. Paul Heyman, of course, is like, no, we're gonna do it on our time. And something tells me that you guys are gonna be in action later tonight. I have that little bit of word. So the Beast isn't going anywhere. As they say on TV, Paul Heyman says, the Beast is yet to come. So that sets up a tag match main event that nobody cared about. Lashley and Corbin versus Kofi and Rollins. So I'll get right to that main event. I'll cover other things as well, but I'll get right to the main event since I'll stay with these cast of characters. There's nothing really to go over. Rollins and Kofi Kingston obviously defeated Corbin and Lashley. It was Kofi Kingston getting trouble in paradise on Baron Corbin. After the match, there was some extracurricular activity, but Rollins and Kingston were able to overcome it, and Brock Lesnar's music hits. But we know he's not going to cash in because Kingston and Rollins are waiting for him. Rollins even has a chair. So Lesnar circles the ring like a shark like he usually does twice. He gets up on the apron like he's going to get in the ring, but then he drops back down, and Heyman is audibly yelling, "We're in their minds. We're in their minds. We'll do it on our time." So that was what we would expect. Rollins and Kingston win the match. Lesnar kind of teases he's going to do something, but he doesn't. It's what we thought was going to happen from the beginning of the show, and it's what actually happened. So no suspense, no intrigue. Nothing more to talk about. Braun Strowman beated Sami Zayn after a backstage altercation between the two. I liked the backstage altercation more than the match itself. The match itself was only about a minute and a half, and Sami Zayn is already losing. This guy just came back from injury a few weeks ago. He came back with a pretty cool character. He's basically echoing Vince McMahon sentiments and talking about how all of us are critiquing. Well, now I'm going to put you in your place. I love it. I was hoping they were going to do a lot more with Sami Zayn. Instead, they take him out of Money in the Bank's ladder match, and then last night they have him lose in 90 seconds to a guy that is never again going to be over because Vince McMahon has already ruined it. It's the story of the boy that cried wolf. You bumped him up so many times, you got us believing he was going to be larger than life, and then he ends up being shit. So no, I'm not going to buy into it again. It's going to take a miracle from God himself to make Braun Strowman relevant again. It's a shame that it was at the expense of Sami Zayn last night. Lars Sullivan does an interview last night in the middle of the ring with Charlie Caruso. He gets interrupted by the Lucha Summer College House Party. In a few minutes, Sullivan takes care of the Summer House College Lucha Party. Anyway, I don't know what this is doing. I love the fact that they're trying to build a superstar finally, because they just don't do that. But it's not working. Does anybody care? No, it's rhetorical. The answer is no. If you watch Albany's reaction, they didn't care about Lars Sullivan. None of us at home cared about Lars Sullivan beating up the Lucha Underground Summer House College Party. Nobody cares. So if you want Lars to be a star, you're going to have to go about it a different way. That's just the truth. Or maybe, here's a concept, nobody cares about Lars Sullivan. Or here's another crazy concept. Maybe we know that if Lars Sullivan does get to some prestigious status, and we do jump on board on the bandwagon of Lars Sullivan, maybe we know Vince will just then bring him right back down to ground level like he did to Braun Strowman. And maybe we're just not buying into that bullshit anymore. Things to ponder, things to think about. Cool backstage altercation between Stiles and Corbin. Stiles actually smacked the taste out of Corbin's mouth and the yellow off his teeth. And Corbin, instead of retaliating, just looked at Stiles and said, "Man, you're going to pay for that." And he walks off. And you see Stiles' look like, "Shit, I was hoping we were just going to bang out right there. Now I got to watch over my shoulder for your ass." So I like that, man. That's going to lead to something. I don't know if I want to see Stiles and Corbin, but if you give me the right storyline, I'm on board. We then go into Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon. This was a promo set up for their Super Showdown match. But it was way too long and it had zero substance to it. We didn't need that long of a promo just to set up a Super Showdown match. Later in the night, because for some reason Drew McIntyre came out to the rampway with Shane McMahon and kind of stared down Roman Reigns. That was all pointless. But later in the night, that set up a Drew McIntyre versus Miz match. Drew McIntyre, of course, defeats The Miz through some outside interference via Shane McMahon. After the match, Shane McMahon got on the mic and said, "Miz, I lied. I'm not through with you." And he goes to do a coast-to-coast while McIntyre is holding The Miz, and Roman Reigns comes down to make the save. Well, woo frickin' who? Thank goodness for Mr. Wildcard. Because SmackDown only has 3 wild cards if you think about it, because Roman Reigns is holding hostage that 4th spot. He's the wild card every week. Mr. Wildcard. Moment of Bliss. This is Becky Lynch as the guest. She was interrupted by the Iconics and Lacey Evans. This set up a 6-women tag match with Nikki Cross. And Becky Lynch said, "And you too," meaning Alexa. And Alexa's like, "No, I'm not ready to compete." And Becky Lynch goes, "You just sit there and look pretty. The man will do the work." So I love Alexa. She has this look of disgust on her face. and she brings her coffee to the ring. I love this. This is what the Amplified Man would do. If I'm wrestling, I'm bringing my Starbucks to the ring. But Alexa knew she's not really getting physical, so she brought her coffee down. She put her elbow up on the apron. I love it. She just starts sipping her coffee to the hard camera side. I love that, man. When it was all said and done, Becky Lynch and Nikki Cross end up defeating, I guess you can say Alexa too. She didn't really do anything, but Lynch, Cross, and Alexa defeat the Iconics and Lacey Evans. So that was your 6-woman tag match. Guys, that was really the bulk of the show. I'm not going to go over anything else because I want you guys to go about your Tuesday and kick its ass. And I have a lot to do today. And again, I got home kind of late last night. Had to watch Raw on a little bit of a delay as it was. So I just want to kick some ass. So that's my sentiments on this 24/7 rule, guys. A lot of people are crying about it and saying this is bringing down the business. This is why everything's a joke and nobody takes it seriously. Guys, before they take their actual prestigious titles and make them seriously and not a joke, this is just fun. If you don't think so, sucks for you. Great for the Amplified Man. And I'll leave you with this sentiment. I'll be taking this bad boy into Starbucks today. They'll look at me like I'm an absolute fucking crazy, an absolute lunatic, a nutcase, like I just escaped from the asylum. And that's how I like it, baby. And if anybody in that Starbucks wants a shot at the Amplified Man, if you're feeling froggy, leap the Amplified Man saying, check you.